So here's a question. Can you call something a podcast if it's just one person? If you were alone, if you are a single voice in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to call it a podcast. I'll be brave enough to call this single man, me, myself, and I podcast a podcast. And hopefully other people will join. Maybe they will be considered guests because this began alone. But let's get right to stuff. I am starting an esports podcast. Perhaps you've met me. You've heard of me. I am the Pat Madonka on Twitter. I have a YouTube channel that is in a constant state of issues, which is very cool because Twitch is also in a constant state of issues. So I feel very communed with the people that work there and the people that are talking about it. But enough about Twitch. They've already backpedaled a bunch of stuff. I'll be very curious to see how that pans out. Let's talk about what really matters, and that is the LCS, what happened today. Now, we had 2 best-of-5 series. I want to talk a little bit about that. We had Raw Cats versus the Super Hot Crew, and we had what I would love to call best-of-5, but just a royal beating. The corpse, the broken, saddened corpse of Alex Each was wheeled into the LCS auditorium and was beaten to death by the members of Unicorns in Love. A real end of the era. If you just want to see a beaten, just an old school beaten, check out the Unicorns in Love set. The first episode, or I guess let's just call it a match, in particular is important because there's a chance that we could see people playing Swain again in the LCS. I don't know how well that'll happen in solo queue, but what I really want to see is come the playoffs for North America, I want to see Quas bust out Swain against CLG. I want to see Seraph, having spent this entire time in his homeland, just chilling and feeling happy and great, just be confronted with the terrible truth that is the fact that Quas played a whole bunch of Swain. And he actually won a few games if you watched back in the NACL, the Controversy Salt League. Hopefully we'll see more out of them. The people that were attacked by on-gamers for page views and Reddit hits. Quas, his debut there, he was very impressive on Shen, which he did not get a chance to look impressive in the LCS. In fact, he tricked everyone into thinking that the Shen bug, which probably still exists, is still in the game. He was also impressive as Swain when they pulled off a bit in the Salt League, which I thought they'd honestly do a bunch of, which was Voyboy went back top. I don't remember what he played. He probably played Olaf. He played something that Voy can be the Voyboy on. And he played mid-Swain and just crushed. I know that you're looking at challenger-level play. Like, the Salt Leagues, for all the love that I had of their YMCA dancing and their fancifulness and their lower level of play, I enjoyed seeing that kind of stuff. And Quas never brought out the Swain. Hopefully he will bring out the Swain and be a lot more exciting. Actually, a really good piece about Quas just came out on Gamers. You could check that out, or just know that, hey, he is either the second or third or sometimes first place stat holder for a lot of the top laner stuff. You didn't pay attention to Curse, but Quas made sure. And it isn't like BS stats where it's like, he didn't die, he didn't pull a shifter, where it's like, oh my god, everyone on my team is dead. I'm just going to run and look from a distance and go, I am better than Meteos because I hid. Now, Quas actually has legitimate, like, KDA, gold per minute, just a whole bunch of great stats. So hopefully he'll pull that out. But enough about Quas. Enough about NA. It's a European day. So like I said, if you want to see a beating, if you're a fan of beatings, check out NIP versus Unicorns in Love. I don't think that Unicorns in Love is going to be able to beat, let's just be bold and say, the Super Hot Crew. I as much as I love the Cinderella story of Super Hot Crew getting to third place, I don't think they're going to beat, let's yet again be judgmental, Millennium. Millennium is going to lose to SK. The Millennium and Super Hot Crew will have to fight. I have not looked up the numbers. I just have a gut feeling that Super Hot Crew is not going to be able to handle fighting against Millennium after Millennium has been defeated by SK. They showed very little adaptation. They mainly just lucked out on the fact that Rawcats, for as much as they won those 3 games, they really didn't seem to be playing to the point of where they wanted to win. The throwiness that occurred back and forth during some of those matches was rather breathtaking. But yeah, I don't think Unicorns in Love is going to be able to take out Super Hot Crew. I don't really want them to. I like Super Hot Crew. I mainly just want to listen to Impaler talk. I think we all kind of share that. We want to hear him just talk about things with his little British voice. If we lose that, that'll be bad. And the Unicorns in Love, they're scary. They're very scary. For a group that's called Of Love, they're terrifying-looking people. If they want to cut mean-looking promo videos, well, welcome to the LCS mean-looking people. But let's talk about... All right, so we'll talk about the main event, which games really mattered, of Rawcats and Super Hot Crew. So as you probably heard by now, hopefully, Rawcats won 3-1 against the Super Hot Crew. First game is a much watch for craziness. Rawcat pulled out what everyone really loves, and there's a narrative about Rawcat that people, I think, still believe exists, but you didn't really see a lot of this season, that they pull out crazy picks. That's mainly connected to Overpow, who was able to take advantage of some weaker play and play Mordekaiser and a few other nuts things. He played Pantheon. He played a lot of broken-y kind of stuff, or matchups he knew he could win before a lot of these wildcard picks were rewarded with heavy nerfs and being removed from the game. Having Alistair top is what happened. So Zazas played an Alistair top, freaked out the Super Hot Crew, went Trinity, Static Shiv. The reason he built that is I think either Alistair or Blitzcrank actually has the highest base health for a champion. And the Rage proc off of Trinity scales off of that. So Alistair can actually hit really hard, and Static allowed him to have really great wave clear. It's a nuts game. You have to check it out. Yankos was on point. Zazas was impressive. He played a solid Maokai in the next one. He was really the one to watch. And, yeah, I'm going to say Zazas is the one to watch. Something I don't think a lot of people talked about, which I love to death, was Zazas was willing to teleport in a heartbeat. He was the best of bros in Rawcats. Anytime where it's like a fight has started, that blue bolt of light, or red if Rockets was on the red side, was immediately on a ward that was somehow strategically placed in that fight. It was almost like, I am coming. I don't remember what Zazas' voice is, but I felt like the moment someone went, oh no, I'm ganked, he will go, I am there. And he was always there to cause trouble, to mess people up, to be a battle cow. Now, before you all freak out, I feel like we all kind of had a collective shuddering. Like, oh no, Alistair was finally buffed. We are finally happy to see the battle cow again. I played it myself years ago. Riot's gonna just kill him. They're just gonna kill him. Well, fortunately, the third showing of the battle cow went very poorly. There was just a lot of poor decisions rotation-wise from Rawcat in the third game, if you want to see it. But the battle cow can lose to Kale. Just in general, Rawcats, for a team that has an okay Kale player, Overpow was a very, very good Kale player back when she was a Q-bot. When her Q had a 1-to-1 AP ratio, and you could just, and before the Lichbane nerfs, Overpow was good at that style of Kale, which is something I think that not a lot of people talk about. You need to remember that players are good at not just a champion, but a certain patch of a champion and a certain item set of a patch of a champion. We were talking Nashor's Tooth, Lichbane, Kale with the good Q was Overpower's look. If you look back this season, when Overpower tried to play the Hurricane Kale, he didn't do as good of a job, and shockingly, his positioning, which also looked a little shaky in this series in general, got him in a lot of trouble. But we're not here to talk about Overpower. Overpower, he wasn't like a lame duck like Alex Each was in all of his sets. But Zaz is the one to watch. Sulliver did a great job this set. He was a little lame in the game they missed. Some bad Tristana play, but a lot of good Kog'Maw. It's some games worth watching. I have a lot to look forward to in the games ahead. Tomorrow, Tomorrow is going to be a knife fight in a volcano in space on fire. I cannot wait to watch Millennium take on SK. This is great because Millennium were in that downward spiral. And they're up against an SK who is feeling confident. Now, the one thing I guess you could kind of read into were the complaints in alt chat. If you heard when Koreatime was like, great, we only communicate when we play these stupid troll games. So maybe they're having issues, maybe. But there's a lot of raw talent that is held back by stupidity on Millennium. And I think they can do some good stuff. At least I hope they can. Maybe they can. So I don't know. It's a good time to be watching League. I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening. I would also like to heavily joke. Somebody posted some pictures of CLG in Korea. I don't know if you've seen this. It's somewhere on Reddit, probably. Because I don't follow any of the CLG. I follow Monty. I follow Monty because I like people that wear skull rings and give advice about the League of Legends. But if you look at the pictures that they posted of them in Korea, Afromu's totally watching anime. Link is playing Hearthstone. It is just as bad as in Chasing the Cup. Nothing has changed. They've gone across the ocean to do the same kind of stuff. I know that they probably have those photos up there because they don't want to show what champions they're practicing, which could be completely open in the air for neither of those two people. I don't think there's a... We're not going to get shocked by a made out of Link. We really aren't. And I don't think there's a support that's going to surprise us. I mean, the main question is, what is Seraph practicing for CLG? There's no organization in this. I just realized fluttering all over the place. But this is my test. See you later.